What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, day 2 at Dykema 2026. I am John Stamper, and we wanted to continue to have great conversations with so many of the incredible presenters that are here on stage. When you come to Dykema 2026, what you typically hear amongst everybody at this event is the quality of the content that Brian puts together on stage. And so I'm very excited. He just got off of his panel this Friday morning. Brannon Moncrief, who's principal and CEO at McLerran Associates. Brandon, how you doing?
Hey, doing great.
Awesome.
Good to be here.
All right, so just got off stage. Talk a little bit about some of the topics that you guys mentioned.
Yeah, we were talking about the sell-side environment and the changes we've seen in the marketplace over the past 12 to 24 months. And it's definitely been a dynamic environment. 21, 22, super hot, frothy marketplace, valuations at all-time high, acquisitory demand at all-time high. And then we had a change in 2023 with the interest rate environment, global economic environment changing. And a lot of buyers were trying to figure out, what does the new norm look like? What type of practices are they going to chase on a go-forward basis? How are they going to modify deal structure to mitigate risk and preserve cash? And since that time, I think we've been operating kind of in the new norm, right? So it's been pretty consistent over the past 24 months. We've seen good acquisitory demand among a lot of well-capitalized buyers, but they're being far more disciplined about the assets that they're acquiring. And deal structures have evolved to preserve cash and create alignment with founders and with key providers. And they've just been far more choosy about which assets they're going to purchase, how they're going to structure those deals. And then there's been a lot of more diligence, both on the buy side and the sell side. Sellers are being far more particular about who they're going to partner with. They're more focused on fit and structure, rather than solely focused on global valuation. But I think those changes are welcomed and are going to make the industry healthier on a go-forward basis.
Brannon, how are you almost like working backwards from where the market is, the things that need to be disciplined, and then most importantly, how you're helping them prepare for a future sale and things like that?
Yeah, so we like to have conversations very early with our clients to educate them about where the market's at, what the market's looking for, how they're going to view their business, and help them reverse engineer the outcome they ultimately want to achieve. And if we got a few years to make that happen, we can tweak certain things within the practice to make sure that it checks all the boxes as to what buyers are looking for and modify what we're focused on along the way as the marketplace evolves. So the sooner you start to plan this process, 2-3 years in advance, to do a pre-market quality of earnings, to establish a relationship with a sell-side advisor, to get the right members of your team intact, get educated about what drives demand and valuation so that you're prepared when you're ready to go to market. And then just thinking about timing the market. And I'm not talking about timing the market from a global economic perspective or an interest rate environment perspective. I'm talking about timing the market as it applies to your situation, your personal and professional life, and the health of your business. You want to go to market when you've got some gas in the tank, right? Most buyers, both PE and DSO buyers, are looking for a 5-year post-close commitment. So if you wait until the day you're ready to exit your business, the DSO private equity option is not going to be on the table. You're going to have a relatively limited number of options available to you. And then you want to go to market when your business is healthy, when it's growing. DSOs, private equity, very, very focused on organic growth. And they feel like it's easier to buy a practice that's already in growth mode, that's been growing year over year, top line revenue and EBITDA. They're going to pay up for that type of practice, as opposed to buying an asset that's got declining revenue or EBITDA. It's going to be a much harder story to tell. You're going to see less demand and lower valuations.
Yeah, awesome insight, Brandon. Thanks so much. Another Dykema team, and Brian, really appreciate you guys having on stage. Great content on a Friday. I think most important, like you said, leading a lot of these practices on where we've come from, but then more importantly, kind of a roadmap for the future. So
absolutely.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you got it. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.